second week in the month of December. Yes, our focus will continue on your rights as a consumer, but today we will be having an interesting conversation that I'm sure will have you locked and glued to your radio for the entire show. But first, let's get a word from our sponsors, and then right after the break, we will head straight into that discussion. Our studio number to call or text is 850-6004. That's 850-6004. Invite someone to share on TuneIn Radio or on our website at www.ggfmja.org, or even to like the show on our Facebook page. You can also send me an email at yourwealthandyou@gmail.com and have your questions, your comments, and your queries addressed right here on the show. Welcome back, listeners, and thank you for staying tuned. I want to say a special welcome to all the listeners on the 90.1. To those who are tuned in live from our website, which is at www.ggfmja.org. Also, for those who are tuning radio right now, I want to say a special welcome to you. I also want to say hats off to all the listeners in the diaspora. As I'm speaking to you, I'm seeing that the Facebook page is going viral, and everybody at this time is so consumed we are consumers. I'm using the word in its proper context. I know everyone is caught up in knowing your rights as a consumer, and so for today, as I did indicate before, I will be having an interesting conversation with none other than Mr. Michael Diamond, and you will be hearing more about him as we speak. The producer is trying to get him online so we can go straight into our lively interview. And let me remind you, listeners, I know you'll be hearing from him for the first time, but please feel free to call him. Feel free to text. Feel free to send your WhatsApp. Feel free to call from overseas via the Magic Jack. Feel free to call us. And I'm intrigued and pushed to give you the overseas number at this time. And the overseas number that you can use to get through to us is 1-347-298-6742. And let me remind you of our local number. It's 850-6004. I'm getting an indication that Mr. Diamond is online. Mr. Diamond, welcome to GGFM. Hello, Mr. Diamond? Mr. Diamond? Hello, good afternoon. Mr. Diamond?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are hearing you loud and clear. Welcome to GGFM.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Very well. I haven't got the chance to give a proper introduction of who you are because it is so much, but I'm just going to take a bit out of the introduction for you, and I'm just letting all of our listeners know at this time that we're speaking to, and listeners, listen now, he's so humble with it. It's a very small portion of it. He's an attorney at law and currently the Vice President of the National Consumers League of Jamaica. He's also the consumer advocate for over 19 years, also serving as a commissioner for Caricom, or on the Caricom Review Commission. If I made any mistakes, sir, please feel free to correct me.
Okay, not at all, not at all. It sounds very overwhelming. I'm surprised myself.
Okay, well, I want to say thank you again for joining us. And for this month in December on the show, Your Wealth and Due, we are sharing with our listeners as it relates to our rights as a consumer. I know you are the expert in the field, so I will be quiet and I will have you take the floor for yourself, sir.
Okay, well, I definitely want to say it is an honor. It is an honor. It's a great opportunity for me to be able to share a bit of what is it that we actually do at the National Consumers League with our consumers. Because, as you are aware, this time of the year is very, it pretty much consumers are being targeted from all angles. And, we have the term of it, the silly season, for a number of reasons. But nonetheless, this is a time when your consumer rights are definitely threatened. And the more informed you are, the better it is for you.
Yes. Okay.
Like, for instance, not to interrupt much, but
that's fine.
At this time, one of the biggest concerns that we have during these seasons is in regards to refunds, because individuals are going to be making larger purchases than they normally would have done throughout the year. They are going to be buying gift items, and it's usually the time where most appliances are purchased.
Yes.
So refunds, unfortunately, are part of these situations, and there's a lot of misconceptions on both sides, for the merchant and also for the consumer. And that's where, we come in.
Okay, so I am happy that you touched on refunds, as based on the time in the conversation in which you touched at it, I'm getting the feel that it is a very sore point for a lot of persons.
It actually is. It is, and especially here in Jamaica, unfortunately, most times the transaction, the cost factor is more demonstrated than the ease of doing business, or pretty much what is best practices among the merchants. But for consumers, the most important thing to remember is that you are entitled to a refund. It is your right to a refund in events where the product is defective or it wasn't as advertised or marketed to you, and so forth. So even though in many establishments there's a sign that says no refunds, exchanges only, that is not actually accurate, and the practice of doing that is actually illegal. Right?
Could you repeat that for us, please?
Yes, it is very illegal, the practice of putting that sign and attempting to enforce that policy saying that you are not entitled to a refund, you can only get change. So any consumer, regardless of where you are in Jamaica, if you come across a situation like that and you're having a problem with getting that right, then you should contact us at the National Consumers League. These are issues that we deal with on a daily basis, and it's free of cost, and our only concern is making sure that your rights are protected.
Wow. I love that. So Sir Diamond, I walk into a store, just for an example, and I am going to be purchasing my mom a nice flat screen TV. I don't want to name a brand TV, no, but I'm going to be buying her a smart TV.
Okay.
And before I purchase, I see the item, I like the item, and I'm sure that I'm going to be purchasing. But I see the sign on the wall that says, no refund, exchange only. And you may see a sign that says, exchange after first 15 days, or such the works. Should I stay in that store? Should I leave that store? I'm just saying.
All right. Of course, we are always promoting that prevention is better than cure. Prevention is better than cure, and sometimes we take chances because we think we can measure it. We encourage you not to shop with places that have those signs. And yes, it might be impractical since, a large majority of merchants in Jamaica carry these signs. But nonetheless, if in fact you do go ahead with that purchase, you are still protected. You are still very much protected, and it's actually the merchant who takes most risk of violating you by continually having that sign or continuing that practice for consumers that are unaware of their rights. So yes, we would encourage you not to, but in the event that you have to, we still do protect you. But nonetheless, your first line of defense is you. You know, when you're spending your hard-earned cash, even if it's in the form of credit, it is your labor that no one else can give you back. So, we encourage that individuals are supposed to respect consumer rights, because you're not just wasting people's money, you're also wasting their time.
That's right. Interesting. Now, I know that we have not so much of a long time on each airing of a show on a weekly basis. It's 70 minutes to 5 o'clock, and we're in no rush, but we're still observing the time. From the chair on which you sit, being the current vice president at the National Consumers League in Jamaica, I know that you are exposed to a lot of situations, a lot of unique situations as well. we're in the silly season or the volatile season, and persons are just shopping and they're just shopping and they're just shopping. No, it's gift giving time as well. I know that you are anticipating a lot of calls, a lot of queries coming in from us consumers. Can you, yeah, is it possible for you to describe an actual situation? May not be so specific, but could you describe an actual situation where we can flatly say the National Consumer League has our back as consumers in Jamaica?
Okay, yes. Of all the many that we've had, one in particular stands out because it dealt with what the consumer perceived was a bargain, and they went in and purchased, a smart television. Ironically, you brought it up, but they went in and purchased a smart television, and they didn't get to use it right away because they had it, they brought it home, and they went away. After about a few days, they return, they plug it in, only to find out it doesn't work.
Wow.
Now on the receipt it says, no exchanges after 7 days.
Wow.
And the merchant was very uncooperative. He really wanted to stick to that point. Now, when they contacted us, the individual was very apprehensive because he thought, there's nothing I can do because it's on the receipt that says no exchanges after a particular time. Nevertheless, when we got involved and we go, because we're not only going to take from the consumer, we also have to go and investigate with the merchant to make sure that, oftentimes there are individuals that are not necessarily straightforward with us, and they'll kind of blemish the situation. But nevertheless, when we went to investigate, automatically we saw a couple of red flags. One, the establishment did not actually have a telephone number or proper business name on the outside. These are red flags when there's no actual, business name, there's no telephone numbers for you to get in touch with individuals. So that's the first thing. The next thing is that when we went in, many of the items seemed a bit, the packaging seemed a bit suspicious, which appeared that they were selling refurbished items. There's nothing illegal about selling refurbished items, but you have to inform the consumer that this item is a refurbished item, especially when you purchase an item and it doesn't come in the original box or some type of explanation, and you have to take it as is. But nevertheless, we went in, recognized that there were blatant violations everywhere. Now, when we in fact spoke with the merchant was insistent that the damage came from the consumer.
Wow.
Now, we do have individuals that do inspections on these things, and the inspection showed that it was not the consumer that actually did it. It is faulty because it actually is a refurbished item. Now, we're talking about this individual spent over $50,000. They did not want to return the money. Now, what happened is that merchant was underinformed or, deliberate blindness, so they were unaware that there is such a thing as refund beyond what is written on the receipt. So we use that opportunity not to be confrontational, but we also educate the merchant on those things, and the consumer did receive a full refund, and the merchant himself actually started making basically they adjusted their practice to be in conformity with the law as best as possible.
Wow.
Right, so these are situations where it turns out that it was a refurbished item being sold as new. He was never informed of that. The original package had no manuals or remote control. So these are things that oftentimes a consumer may think, well, it's just an oversight. No, these are red flags to let you know that something is not right. So that was one situation that could have gone the other way had the consumer not acted upon it and thinking, well, hey, you know what? It's been 14 days. It says 7. Maybe I'm out of luck.
Yes.
But that is a key point. That regardless of what is on your receipt, regardless of what that experience is, call in, get the proper information, because your rights may still be there for you. The time limit for certain things, there is a time limit for all things at law, but nevertheless, it's best to be informed rather than to just make that assumption on your own.
Beautiful. I as you said that, being informed rather than making a decision on your own, I had an experience, and I don't know if I'm in the wrong, I don't know if I'm in the right, and something worked out for me, But I will share it with you off air at another time, and then you can say, okay, Kadian, I think you were in the wrong or the right. And if I was in the right, I will share it next week. But if I'm in the wrong, I will not share it.
You know what? I tell you this. There's, real quickly, there's also a situation where at this time a lot of layaway plans our customers are entering into a lot of layaway plans, and for consumers, again, I must remind you, the law is actually written in your favor.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the climate of the practice is that it's for the merchants, but the law is in your favor. Why? Because you are the consumer. Consumers are usually uninformed, unfortunately, and they're the target of this type of manipulation, false advertising, misleading advertising, and so forth. So the law has to be, it is written to protect you. So even if you think you're wrong in a situation, still call, still get the proper guidance.
Yes.
Because in that situation, it's not a matter of that you win or lose, it's that you will win or you will learn, and that's important.
Very good perspective to look at it. As you mentioned the word layaway, I take my time sometimes to go to a number of stores before I purchase an item, and I compare pricing, I compare customer service, I compare the quality of the information that they give regarding the product, and then I make a choice. But additional to seeing that this particular store offers layaway plans, I also note a condition that goes with the layaway plan notice, which says, if, for example, you want to take back your cash after 30 days or 90 days or, an approximate time, then you won't be able to get back this cash. Is that a legitimate note? Is that something that is legal for us as consumers?
Okay, it's a very good question. Unfortunately, at present, layaway plans are not protected under the Consumer Protection Act. Layaway plans are not protected under the Consumer Act. Yet, those type of agreements are agreements that can be challenged at law. You can go into court. These are simple agreements that individuals are entering into that are challenged on the grounds of contract. Now, as you know, for contracts, you can only enter into that contract knowingly, and you had to have been fully informed of all the charges that would go along with that contract. Now, most layaway plans are not written for you to see all the details. So when you're entering into that, such information regarding what will happen in case you change your mind and you like your money, how much are they allowed to charge you? Of course, you guys are going to negotiate on that. But nevertheless, there are other aspects of it that are governed by law that you cannot contract away your consumer right. So in situations like that, we do advise consumers, read, ask questions, find out what the policies are regarding in the event that you cannot continue with the layaway. How much of my money am I going to lose? Am I entitled to get back my money minus their particular fee for restocking and so forth?
Right.
Yes, you're entitled to a full cash refund minus the charge, which is somewhat of a penalty within the guidelines that you had negotiated and agreed upon. Now, in fact, there have been practices where individuals will give store credit rather than giving you back your cash.
Right.
That is a situation that we take very seriously, and we do get at merchants for doing that. Because, again, the merchant is taking advantage. First, you're taking a fee for you changing your mind, and then they're not giving you back your money. You're forced to accept items that you probably didn't want in the first place.
Exactly.
So, again, prevention is better than cure. Ask questions. Find out what their refund policies are. Find out what their warranty policies are. If it sounds incredible, have them write it on the receipt. If you're not willing to write it on the receipt, go somewhere else. Right? That's very important. Any agreement that you're going to agree to, have them put it in writing. Whether it be a notation on the receipt or something external, it must be in writing. So never leave without getting proper information.
I am without words as we speak. But I'm getting a message on my phone here. Someone is saying, I think I need your guest number because I think I may have an issue. So I would allow you to give the information before time goes out on us, and I'll ask you to do so freely just now. Please and thank you.
Okay, definitely. For all consumers, we do take all complaints. The idea of it is whether you're right or wrong, definitely get in touch with us for guidance.
Yes.
Our number at the National Consumers League of Jamaica is 926-6388. So that's 926-6388. And again, we're here for you. Now, this also goes to merchants. Merchants are consumers as well. And if they happen to be in a situation or a transaction for which rights are confused, they can also call us for assistance as well, because we're here for all Jamaicans.
Love it. And I'm just going to interject to allow our listeners once more to note the email address for the show. It's yourwealthandyou@gmail.com. You can send your questions, you can send your queries, you can send your comments, and I promise you that they'll be routed through to the respective persons who can answer your issues with expert advice. So send the questions in, send the comments. You can also use a Facebook Messenger as you've always been doing, and your questions will be routed to the correct channel. I'm sending that out to all our listeners. But one other thing I'm noting here, Sir Diamond, and I want to ask you very boldly today, will you be able to come back next week and share more information? Because this is just the tip of the iceberg.
It certainly is. It is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
During the holidays, it's a heightened time for your rights to be violated. Now, you as a consumer have to be very alert. You have to be very alert because the bright lights, the glitter and so forth, they're not there to, it's there to blind you. It's there to, to confuse you. So the idea of it, again, is that consumers, they should, if you can make a shopping list, you should. You should have a plan in what is it you're going to get, where you're going to get it, how even you're going to travel to it. Because the more you plan, the better success you'll have. Yeah. Rather than just simply going to a place and, buying impulsively. So we're here to assist you, but your first line of defense is you. When it comes to consumer protection, the consumer, more informed, is better served, and they also get better deals, because once the merchant sees that your rights, then, they tend to bargain a little better.
Yes.
Because they're rather to make the sale rather than lose the sale.
Yes.
So the more informed you are, the best you'll get out of it.
Love it. I am noting a question that came in. I'm not sure if we have a lot of time to address it. I may need to post it on the Facebook page or send you an email with this. But it says, how many times should a merchant be allowed to repair a product that malfunctions before he has to provide a replacement? I don't know if we have time to touch that answer.
Okay, I can say quickly. Quickly, I can say that as a consumer, you're entitled to the 3 R's: repair, replace, or ultimately refund. Now, how many times? Well, it depends on what the item actually is, and normally is what would be basically won't be commercially reasonable for a consumer of how many times that individual should repair until replaced. As a best practice, we normally would say up to 3 repairs maximum, but we don't want to go beyond that. Now, what is key to remember is that even though the merchant is repairing a particular item, all repairs must carry a warranty as well. So it's not simply that they're repairing, there must be a warranty that follows that repair. And then, after you have given that individual an opportunity to redress, basically to fix the problem, and the problem persists, it's up to you whether or not you want to continue that relationship. And in the fact that you want a refund or a replacement based upon that item, based upon the manufacturer's warranty that follows that item, that is totally within your right.
Wow. I hope all merchants are listening, and for all of us who like to buy the smartphones, please check them properly, because just hearing this information, I know that it is going to be a struggle for a lot of us over this crazy season. It's going to be a lot of struggle for us when you're hearing this information and having to choose between right and wrong. It basically goes down to right and wrong, actually. But as you put it, it's about winning and learning. Sir Diamond, I must regrettably say that it's 2 minutes to 5 o'clock, and I must turn the mics off shortly. But I'm going to be sending you some of the questions that I'm getting and via the email, and we can talk about them, and we'll be able to share with our listeners come next week if our lives are spared. Am I able to say yes, we'll be hearing more from you, sir?
Oh, well, definitely. When it regards consumer rights and consumer protection, I am there.
I love
It's always
them.
an honor to be able to educate and inform our consumers. It's better for everyone. It builds a better Jamaica.
Yes. And I normally close with a financial quote every week, and I want you to hear this one. It wasn't handpicked, but I want you to hear this one. Listeners, the financial quote this week is brought to you by Debbie's Daycare, that is located in Brownstown. You can call 401-0291 to get your child registered for daycare and after-school services. And our financial quote today says, there is no one who would guarantee you the security, financial independence, and the lifestyle you want except yourself. And that is by Hausa Jure. And listeners, I want to thank you for joining me today. You did make the show possible. Join me next week, same time and the same place for another episode of Your Wealth and You.